Welcome back. So this is our third tutorial on Bash, and last time I showed you how to show a list of all the programs that are running that were launched by your user. So, and I believe actually I don't even know that that's really what it lists. But let me look it up. See, -x. By the way you search in the manual is type in a slash, and you type in whatever you want to search for. So it says. Okay, so that's absolutely not what I thought it was. So it doesn't just list the programs that were launched by your users, so they list other things. But the thing is that this just prints out something that's interesting. There's also, let's see, date. So date prints out the current date. So that's a little more succinct, so I think I can use that. So and this is our first actual Bash specific thing. It's not actually specific to Bash, but it's a feature that's provided by Bash that doesn't have to be provided by the command line. So we're going to rm some files, and I'm just going to do rm star, and star just delete. It's called a wildcard. It deletes everything. So, well, almost everything. There's an exception to what the star deletes, but for our purposes, it's just going to be for now. It's just going to delete every file inside the current directory, not the whole computer, of course, just everything within this tutorial folder. So rm star, and I should caution you, you've got to be really careful if you're using rm and star, especially if you're doing rm-r, because if you're typing, like if you do rm-r star and you're in the root directory, that is really bad news, especially if you're running as root, because it'll just delete everything on your computer. There will be some errors and it won't delete everything, but it will delete very important system files. So you don't want to do that because it'll basically render your computer inoperable. And I would not recommend trying it unless you are running a virtual machine that you don't care if it just becomes unusable and you delete all your data. So yeah, I mean, and you can also look up YouTube videos of people going to their root directory and typing in rm-r's, or you don't have to be in your root directory to do this, but typing in this command like sudo rm-r. I'm living dangerously by typing that, but so that would literally delete my entire hard drive, basically, and that is a bad thing. So do not run this. Okay? Don't copy that and run it. And I'm sorry if you already did it, so I'm sorry. Yeah. You should have listened to me warn you later, of course. But so yeah, don't run that because it'll just delete your entire hard drive. So you've got to be very careful when using rm, is the bottom line. And actually running any command, really. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Star just matches every file. So let me create some files for you, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to use this program that it would involve another whole tutorial series to teach you how to use it, so I'm not going to explain how to use it, but it's called Vim, and it's just a text editor, basically. It's a text editor that runs in the terminal, which, and it sounds like, why would you want that, but it's there. And I named that the wrong thing. So, hello there, what is up, human? And I'm going to save that. And I'm going to save another one and say, oh, not much. And I'm going to save that. So now I've got two different files, and I'm going to show you something interesting. We can do cat, and this is actually going to print them out in reverse order, I think. But if we do cat star, cat, if you recall, let me show you, cat hello prints out, the contents of the file. And so now I'm going to do cat hi.txt, and it prints out that. And we can also do cat hello hi, and it will print out in series each of the files that I named. And that's what the functionality of cat is. It concatenates which means just print out like one thing next to another thing. So it concatenates the files together and then it prints them out. So we can also do cat star, and that just expands into cat hello.txt, cat hi.txt. So it does the exact same thing. Let me just show you on a new screen. So I did cat star and it prints out hello, or it prints out the contents of each of those files. And we can also do ls star, and it will, that's equivalent to doing ls by itself, or even ls dot, which means dot just means the current directory that we're in. You recall that dot dot means the above directory. Well, dot just means the current directory. So those are all equivalent, but they might not always be. So then I can do rm star and just delete all of them. Or if I had red dot, and I had blue dot, and I have blue circle. I've got 3 files. These are all empty files, of course, but just to show you how the wildcard works, we can do rm, and then we can do star underscore dot. And that will delete anything that matches this pattern, which is basically says anything followed by an underscore dot. So it would match this and it would match this. It would not match this because this doesn't have dot at the end. It doesn't have an underscore dot at the end. So if I do rm, actually I'm going to do ls just so I don't have to keep creating these files. Ls star underscore dot will print out those 2. And if I do ls blue star, then it will do anything that begins with blue because the wildcard is after blue. And interestingly, you can also do like star e, and it will print out anything that has an e in it, which is everything. But if I had, let's see, brown dot, then when I do ls star e star, it won't print out brown because brown doesn't have an e in it. Brown dot doesn't have an e anywhere in it. So that's the star wildcard, and there's a couple other wildcards, but they're kind of a little bit less useful, so I'm not going to explain them. You can always look up, bash wildcard tutorial, and you can find some good explanations of those. But next I wanted to tell you about this. I think I did it earlier actually, but it's a feature of bash where it's called output redirection. So I can run a command such as date, and say I want to put this in a file, but I don't want to like double click it and like copy it and then like go to copy and then paste it into a file and save it as a file. We can just do date followed by a greater than sign, and then we can type in whatever file we want to save it in. So the date.txt will be where I save it. So now if we do ls, we'll see that there's a file called thedate.txt. And so now I'm just going to remove all these other files. You might see that I don't have to put separate rm commands. Rm takes multiple arguments, so I can just do it all in one go like that, which is why the star works, by the way, because the star just expands the wildcard into a whole command with all those arguments. So if we do cat the date, then there we go. There's our date that we saved earlier. So, and if I run date store in the date again, and I do cat the date, it'll be different this time because it's a different time. And it replaces the key thing is that it replaces the entire file. It doesn't just like tack it on to the end. If we want to tack it on to the end, we can do 2 greater than signs. And that's called appending. So if I run that a few times, and then we do cat the date, then it's got a series of all the different outputs. Let's see. Okay, so let's just remove everything for now. And now I'm going to create a file. This is going to be our first bash program. And I guess I'll actually do this in a new tutorial. So I'm going to stop here, and then we'll continue on in the next tutorial.